For a few days every year, Brazil stops being a country and becomes something else entirely. 40 million people in the streets, simultaneously, in hundreds of cities, at the same time. Not one parade, not one city, not one sound. An entire nation rewired. And if you think Carnival is just a parade in Rio with feathers and samba, you're missing about 95% of what's actually happening. This is what Carnival really is, and it's bigger than you think. First thing to understand, Carnival is not an event, it's a season. It runs for roughly a week, peaks over 4 days, and takes over the entire country. Not just the tourist zones, not just the big cities, everywhere. And here's what catches people off guard. Every city does it differently. Rio has the Sambadrome, the world-famous parade, organized, spectacular, televised globally. Salvador has the largest street party on the planet, literally. Millions of people following trucks loaded with speakers and live bands through the streets. Recife and Olinda have Frevo, a completely different rhythm, faster, more chaotic, giant puppets, street theater, a different universe from Rio. São Paulo has blockos that can draw 300,000 people to a single neighborhood on a Sunday afternoon. Same week, same country, completely different experiences. Carnival isn't one thing, it's dozens of things happening at full intensity all at once across a continent-sized country. And that's just the surface. If the Sambadrome is Carnival's stadium, the blockos are Carnival's soul. A blocko is simple. A group of musicians starts playing. People follow. That's it. There's no ticket, no entrance, no VIP section, no velvet rope. You hear the drums, you walk toward the sound, and you're in. Some blockos are small, a brass band and a few dozen people snaking through a neighborhood. Others are massive, organized weeks in advance, with route maps, sound trucks, and crowds in the hundreds of thousands. But the principle is always the same. The music moves, you move with it. Rich, poor, young, old, local, foreign, it doesn't matter. In a blocko, everyone is in the same street, hearing the same beat, moving in the same direction. There's no audience. Everyone is a participant. That's the part that shocks most first-time visitors. You don't watch a blocko. You become part of it the moment you step into the crowd. And once you're in, you understand why people fly across the world for this. Carnival is visual overload by design. Months before the event, people start planning what they'll wear. And this isn't casual, this is intentional spectacle. In the Sambadrome, samba school costumes can take 6 months to produce. Teams of designers, seamstresses, and engineers build pieces that weigh 30 pounds and light up from the inside. These aren't outfits, they're performance architecture. But it's not just the professionals. In the streets, regular people dress up with the same intensity. Themed groups, coordinated glitter, custom prints, body paint that takes hours to apply. The unspoken rule of Carnival, more is more. Exaggeration isn't a risk, it's the point. You don't dress for Carnival to blend in, you dress to become a version of yourself that only exists during those 4 days. And here's the part the fashion world pays attention to. Trends that debut at Carnival bleed into Brazilian mainstream fashion for months afterwards. Colors, patterns, silhouettes. Carnival sets the visual tone for the year. It's not just dressing up, it's a nationwide design exhibition that happens to take place in the streets. And then there's the thing most people picture when they hear the word Carnival. The Sambadrome in Rio de Janeiro, the most famous parade structure in the world. But here's what most people don't understand. This isn't a performance you hire professionals for. This is community. Each samba school represents a neighborhood. The performers, thousands of them per school, are mostly local residents. Construction workers, teachers, students, grandmothers. They rehearse for months, they fundraise, they build floats by hand in warehouse-sized workshops. A single school can put 3,000 to 5,000 people on the avenue, synchronized, choreographed, in costumes they helped design and build. The floats are engineering projects, multi-story structures that move, transform, and light up. Some carry 50 performers on top. They're built from scratch every year and dismantled the week after. The drumline, the bateria, is the heartbeat, 200 to 400 drummers hitting the same rhythm for an hour without stopping. No amplification needed. You feel it in your chest from 100 meters away. And all of this is judged, scored, competitive. It looks like chaos on TV. Up close, it's one of the most disciplined creative productions on the planet. This isn't a party pretending to be art. It's art that learned how to throw a party. But none of that explains why Carnival actually matters. The parades are spectacular, the blockos are electric, the music is inescapable, the costumes are insane. All true, all surface. Here's what sits underneath. During Carnival, Brazil changes how it operates, not as a metaphor, literally. Businesses close, courts suspend hearings, deadlines shift, meetings get canceled weeks in advance with a single phrase, "That's Carnival Week," and everyone understands. Normal schedules don't apply, the clock loosens. Tuesday feels like Saturday, breakfast happens at noon, lunch might not happen at all, dinner is street food at midnight. Social rules loosen too. People talk to strangers, dance with strangers, hug strangers. The invisible walls that exist in daily life, between classes, between neighborhoods, between generations, they don't disappear, but they thin, noticeably. For a few days, the entire country operates on a different frequency, slower in some ways, more intense in others, but undeniably shifted. It's not escape, it's not hedonism, it's closer to a national exhale, a collective decision to stop performing productivity and start performing joy. Every country has holidays, every culture has celebrations, but very few have a moment where the entire national identity recalibrates for a week, where the default setting changes from getting through the day to being alive in the day. That's Carnival. Not a party, not a parade, not a tourist attraction.